Welcome to this episode of the Bald Book Geek. Before we get going, like, subscribe, and tell me what you think in the comments below. Remember that membership and Patreon is available. Let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. We all love The Legend of Zelda. It's not just a game series, it's a feeling. That quiet rustle of the forest, that chill that runs down your spine when you first hear the wind blow through the isolated ruins of Hyrule Castle. The joy of discovering a hidden grotto, the melancholy of a world long decayed, its myth, its memory, its music, and mystery. So when people say that about this new Legend of Zelda movie that seems to be in the works, I get it. I really do. I want to see that world come to life. But the truth is, I don't believe a movie is the right format. It's too quick, too clean, too small. If Zelda deserves anything on screen, it's something that breathes, something that's kind of weird, slow, poetic, and occasionally terrifying, something that leaves room for the quiet. Zelda doesn't need a movie, it needs an anime, and that's where I think its strengths would lie. The Zelda series borrows from ancient storytelling. It isn't just about saving a princess or defeating a villain, it's about cycles, rebirth, the hero's journey, again and again across time. That's why we see so many recurring themes, symbols, characters. It's why the same Triforce echoes through different incarnations. It's not a straight story, it's a legend told over generations. Yes, there is a timeline, but we're not going to get into that because this is not going to be a 2-hour video. You can't cram that into a 2-hour or 3-hour movie. Think about the Ocarina of Time. That game alone spans childhood and adulthood, light and darkness, innocence and despair. It's a coming of age story and a tragedy. It's a myth wrapped in mystery, a movie that would have to be kind half just to get to the final boss. But an anime could let every dungeon breathe, give every sage their own moment or even character, allowing us to feel what it means to grow up and face a world gone wrong. Imagine an episode where Child Link leaves the forest for the first time. No big fights, just that bittersweet goodbye and that lonely walk through Hyrule Field, the moment where the music changes and the sun sets behind the castle walls. That's not action, that's storytelling, and that's anime. Link maybe doesn't need to speak much. Okay, hear me out with this one. People always wonder if a Zelda movie would let Link talk. Would he have a voice? Personally, I think it needs to be kept to a minimal. But here's the thing. Anime excels at silent protagonists. Think of Made in Abyss. We don't need words to understand the inner world of a character. We need good animation, a glance, a breath, a single tear, or a slow nod. That's all it takes. Visual storytelling is probably more important in stuff like this than verbal storytelling. In fact, a lot of the lack of dialogue, I should say, could become a strength. A Zelda anime could frame Link as a kind of silent observer of Hyrule's tragedies. Someone who listens, someone who helps, who shoulders the burden of everyone he meets. Let the world speak around him. Let Zelda, for example, be the voice of resistance. The echoes of the prophecy. Link just needs to feel real, and an anime could do that better than any green screen heavy Hollywood epic. Every Zelda game is an odyssey. Each dungeon is its own short story. Each town has its own rhythm and rhyme and sadness. Look at the side quests from Majora's Mask, and I'm not going to give you spoilers, but there's an entire romantic tragedy packed into a side mission. A movie wouldn't have time for that. An anime could give it a full episode, for example, and it would break our hearts all over again. Anime thrives on small stories, the bottle episodes, the quiet interludes, the weird character detours. That's what Zelda is made of. You don't just remember beating Ganon, you remember chasing chickens, or learning to play the Song of Storms, or watching the sunset from a lonely cliffside in Breath of the Wild. That's the tone anime gets, that haunting beauty, the tonal shifts, the weirdness. I mean, think of the time loop aspect of Majora's Mask, or the Ghibli-style slow burn through Skyward's floating islands, or the wild, grim, almost horror movie tension of Twilight Princess's Twilight Zone. One of the best things a Zelda anime could do is finally let Zelda have her moment. I want to know her backstory. I want to know more about her, and we do get glimpses of it, but wouldn't it be cool? Intercut, we learn the backstory, an episode that flashes back a few years. Something like that. In Skyward Sword, she's ancient royalty and destiny incarnated. In Wind Waker, she's a pirate. In Breath of the Wild, she's a scholar with a tragic arc of self-doubt and resilience. I would love to see her story. I'd love to see her in everything. I'd love to get those beats and know who she was before leading up to the events. A story told through both Link's journey and Zelda's own journey, I think would carry some very interesting emotional weight. That this isn't just the hero, it's the balance of power, wisdom, and courage, much like the Triforce itself. Now, Zelda is vibe driven. That's what a lot of adaptations miss. It's not just action or plot, it's feeling, it's mood, it's music, it's shadow, the lure of lost civilizations in the background as you solve a puzzle. Ancient clues that don't really tell you much, but it leaves your imagination to fill in the gaps. Anime can understand that. It doesn't have to rush to the next beat. It lets the moment linger. It can sit in silence. It can hold on for a shot of an abandoned temple. It does for an entire minute, because sometimes that's the story. Give Zelda to a studio that understands melodrama and melancholia. Let the show the ancient loneliness of the Temple of Time, that can make the lost woods feel truly lost, that can capture the sadness in the eyes of the mask seller, or the joy of the Goron baby rocking to sleep. Look, I'm not saying a live-action Zelda movie would be bad. We don't know at this point. With the right director, the right tone, and a ton of respect for the source material, it might even be good. But I don't want good, I want magic. And magic in this case means hand-drawn. It means dreamlike pacing. It means emotional subtlety. Weird characters, heartbreaking stories playing out. It means a 26 episode anime where you don't even meet Ganon until episode 20 because you're too busy helping a lonely ghost find peace. Zelda has always been more than just battles. It's about courage, quiet, destiny, and loneliness. In the end, I don't believe any medium captures that better than anime. So no, Zelda doesn't need a movie. It needs a living, breathing, unforgettable anime. I'll be there one day, probably crying before the opening credits even finish, let's be honest.